Here we are today at 4HP Cycles. We will be doing an ECU flash on a 2016 Kawasaki H2. So what I want to do is show you how to get to the ECU, and then we'll be going through the flash procedure. The first thing you have to do is remove this side panel. They are 3 millimeters. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts that you'll be removing, and then take the panel off. There's the side panel, top panel removed, and the hardware. Once it's removed, this is what it looks like below, and we still have more to remove before we can get to the ECU. Next, what you want to do is remove the 2 bolts in the mirror. There's a wire that goes down to this clip right here with 2 folding tabs holding down the wire. So you need to bend the 2 tabs to remove the clip and slide it through the upper nose fairing. Next, you're going to want to remove the 2 3mm bolts in the side fairing. Next, remove the 3 3mm bolts from the side fairing. Next, remove the Phillips from the inner fairing, and continue to remove the bolts on the right side fairing. So with removal of the right side fairing, you'll have a push pin on the underside of the nose. On the radiator, there will be a bolt, and also you must remove the hose for the radiator overflow. Continue to remove the push pins on the underside of the nose, and continue removing the whole front nose assembly. Remove the top ram air cover on the left side, and proceed to take the mirror off. And the clip for this mirror is right there where that red dot is. After removing the 3 bolts on the side fairing and the 2 on the top side here in the groove, there's 2 Phillips you're going to have to remove. One there on the inside, and then one up front there. You have to remove both of those Phillips. Also, you have to remove the bolt that's in the ram air, the 3mm. Next, you're going to have to take off the windscreen. So there's 6 bolts there, 3mm. Just remove the windscreen. There'll be 2 more bolts under there you have to access to get the front nose off. Next, what you want to do is remove the 2 outside 10mm bolts, this one and this one. And you're also going to have to remove, let me get the light, the bolt down here below the speedometer on both sides. There's 2 bolts down there that you have to remove as well. Okay, once you remove the 2 front 10mm bolts and the 2 5mm bolts below the gauge cluster, you just lift the front fairing up over the mirror tabs and slide it forward. The ram air here will also slide forward. I usually just move it forward enough where it's still hanging to give me access to remove the bolts from the ECU cage. Once the front half of the cage is dismounted, you will have access to carefully slide the ECU out of the back half of the cage, which I leave mounted. And you'll need a razor blade to cut the factory tape off to gain access to be able to remove the ECU. So by making 2 slices on the side of the tape, gives you access to push the button to release the harness from the ECU. Do that on all 3, and you can remove the ECU, which will look like this. Now you can put it on your bench unit and proceed to flash your ECU. So what I typically do when we first plug the ECU in is do a read, just to verify that we have the correct model number of the ECU, so that we can supply the correct mapping for it. So this one is fairly simple. We already had a map for this exact same setup. We dyno tuned this bike before. Writing the ECU, then we'll be putting it back on the bike to initialize the ECU back onto the bike again. The first thing I do is plug in the ECU and do an ECU read to make sure we can supply the correct bin file for this ECU. So as you see, what pops up is it's a 1282A, which is not exactly what it says on the back of the casing of the ECU. So that's why we do a read, just to make sure we have the correct bin file for the correct ECU. Okay, now very important, after you do your ECU flash, you must idle the bike for 10 seconds and then turn it back off, and then idle it again for 10 seconds. There's cycle 1. Cycle 2, we'll idle it again for another 10 seconds. After you turn the ignition off. Let it sit. Key back on. Restart the bike, let it idle for another 10 seconds. That's it. After ECU flash, all done. 4ACP Cycles, www.4acp.com, or you can call us 610-521-9444. Thank you.